Hello boys and girls, Hannah Baker here, live and in stereo. No return engagements, no encores, and this time, absolutely no requests. I'm about to tell you the story of my life. More specifically, why my life ended. And if you're listening to these tapes, well, you're one of the reasons why. Now, I won't tell you which tapes brings you into the story, but fear not if you receive this lovely little box, your name will pop up. I promise. Now, why would a dead girl lie? That sounds like a joke. Why would a dead girl lie? Answer, because she can't stand up. Go ahead, laugh. I thought it was funny. The rules are pretty simple. There are only two. Rule number 1, you listen. Rule number 2, you pass them on. This was not a spur-of-the-moment decision, so please do not take me for granted. Again? Anyway, ready, Mr. Foley? In 1964, a young woman named Kitty Genovese was stabbed outside of her house in Queens, New York. Many of Kitty's neighbors heard her screaming in agony, yet no one cared to help her. This instance led to the occurrence known as the bystander effect, where an individual is responsible for deciding how to appropriately respond in an emergency situation. However, if the number of bystanders increase, the probability that someone will actually help decreases. And as Hannah Baker witnesses her own emergency situation, she becomes the bystander who doesn't. 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. Justin, honey, you were my very first kiss, my very first hand to hold, but you were nothing more than an average guy. And I don't say that to be mean. I don't. But there was just something about you that just made me need to be your girlfriend. And to this day, I don't know exactly what that was, but it was there. And it was amazing. When you reach the end of these tapes, Justin, I hope you understand your role in all of this. Because it may seem like a small role now, but it matters. Because in the end, everything matters. I'd gone to a party. The couple from the couch walked into the bedroom. Actually stumbled into the bedroom is more accurate. But of course I didn't actually see them because I was still on the floor with my back against the far side of the bed. And it was dark. But her sofa buddy kept her from stumbling too hard against the nightstand, and when she would roll off the bed twice, it would lift her back up again. Nice guy that he was, kept the laughter to a minimum. And I thought he would tuck her into bed and shut the door behind him as he left. And that would have been the perfect time for my getaway. End of story. But that wasn't the end of the story, because that wouldn't make an interesting tape, now would it? And I know you know by now that this wasn't the end. So instead of leaving, he started to kiss her. Not only was she drunk and clumsy, but she seemed to be completely unresponsive. And from what I could tell, it didn't go much beyond kissing. And it seemed like a one-sided kiss at that. Again, nice guy that he was, didn't take advantage of the situation. But he wanted to. He wanted to. He tried for the longest time to get a reaction out of her. Are you awake? Do you need me to take you to the restroom? Are you gonna puke? This girl was completely passed out. She grunted and groaned a bit, and it dawned on him, finally, that this girl wasn't in the romantic mood, and probably wasn't going to be for a while. So, he tucked her into bed, and said he would check up on her for a bit. And then he left. At this point, you might be wondering, who are these people? Hannah, you forgot to tell us their names. But I didn't forget, because if there's one thing I still got left, it's my memory. I stood up, stabilizing myself with one hand on the bed. But his shoes, the shadow of his shoes, were still visible in the light coming from under the door. Because when he left that room, he took a post-it right outside, and I let go of the bed, and I started walking towards the silver of the light, not sure what I would say when I'd opened up the door. But halfway there, 2 more shoes came into view, and I stopped. The door opened, but then someone pulled it back shut and said, "No, let her rest." And I waited, heart pounding, trapped in the middle of the floor. The bedroom door opened again, but again someone pulled it back shut, and they even tried to make a joke out of it. "Trust me," he said. "She won't move. She'll just lay there." In that brief moment, the moment you said nothing, I felt sick, covering my mouth with both my hands, and I stumbled towards the closet door, tears blurring the light from the hall. And when I collapsed into the closet, a pile of jackets on the floor caught me. When the bedroom door opened, I pulled the closet door shut. I pulled the closet doors tight, and I shut my eyes tight as I rocked myself back and forth, beating my head against the pile of jackets. But with the bass bumping throughout the house, no one could hear me. And with the bass thumping, no one could hear him. Walking across the room, getting on the bed spring screaming under his weight. No one heard a thing, and I could have stopped it. If I could have thought, if I could have seen, if I could have thought about anything in that one single moment, I would have opened up those doors and stopped it. But I didn't. And it doesn't matter what my excuse was. That my friend was having a meltdown, that's no excuse. I could have stopped it. End of story. But to stop it, I felt like I had to stop my entire world from spinning. Like things have been out of control for so long that whatever I did hardly even mattered anymore. I couldn't stand all of the emotions anymore. I just wanted my world to stop, to end. But the light from the hall stepped into the room and into the closet, and his footsteps walked away. It was over. So what happened next? Well, I ran out of the room and straight down the hall, and that's where I saw you, sitting in a room all by yourself. The one person this whole tape revolves around. Justin Foley. We'd come a long way, Justin. From the very first time I saw you slip on Cat's lawn, to my very first kiss down at the bottom of the slide, to now. You started a chain of events that potentially ruined my life. Now you are working on hers. So what do you think of him now, Justin? Do you hate him? Your friend that raped her? Is he still your friend? No, you're right. You didn't rape her. I didn't rape her. He did. But you and I, we let it happen. It's our fault.